had completely forgotten that I hadn't actually shared any of this, putting the shelves in. So I figured I'll just set the camera up. I started working on them. I figured, well, why don't I set the camera up so you guys can sort of see what's up. Quality on these shelves is amazing. I mean, they cost 80 bucks a piece, but the fit and finish, the sizing, how they're sort of cut, they all look the same. They all feel the same. And so what the great part about stainless is it looks really good. The bad part about it is that it gets kind of fingerprinty. And, the stainless on a countertop is probably not the most preferred option. It gets all scratched up and stuff. But when it's clean, it looks really good. It just sort of fits my style. So I wasn't going to get and have 10 shelves, but I figure I'll probably always be testing a lot of stuff and have a lot of extra stuff, over and above what my normal go-to, product line is. So I figured I probably should just complete, make it symmetrical, have, all 10 shelves. Because right now I have over here, and you'll see them here in a minute, but I have 3 on the one wall and 5 on the other. So I spent the extra 100 and whatever, 50 bucks and got the ones I needed. So I don't really have any connection to this company. Maybe someday we'll make some sort of connection. I mean, I called them before. They weren't particularly helpful. But it's stainlesssteelsupply.com, and I basically just ordered everything online and ordered a specific size. These are 8 inches deep by 32 inches, and you can get pretty much whatever size you want. They have some prefab sizes that you can order right off their website, and then you can always sort of ask for a custom option. All right, so that's ready. My new amazing knife. Actually, let's open up the other shelf while we're here and just have it all ready to go. This is T304 stainless, which is fine for in here. I kept wanting to do the higher end, the T316, but it really doesn't look a whole lot different and certainly would be overkill. I mean, that's like marine grade. We're hopefully not going to be hosing this building down with water. All right, so let's get, I need to get my measurements. I forget what the exact measurement was on these shelves. So here is the current setup. I obviously have some extra stuff to put in there, and I have some in the cabinet as well. Now, again, remember this stuff, it's not going to look like this forever. Like, I'm not going to have all of these products in here, interior cleaners and stuff like that. At least I don't think I will. Certainly not polishes. All that stuff will go into the main garage. And I'm so happy that it's finally cooling off. I can actually come out here without having the fans on. I mean, there's still some humidity because it's mid-October, but it's only getting better. So this is day 2. I kind of forgot I was watching the kids all day yesterday, so I had to bail on you guys. That's why I have a different set of OG gear. Seems like this is all I wear anymore. It's just so comfortable. It's Sunday. It's really, really awesome. And I'm gonna hopefully share my excitement appropriately. But basically what happened was when I did Adam LZ's first video of sort of working on his garage design and sort of taking measurements and looking at that. There was a guy who sells. Oops, there's a guy who sells. Kevin, who sells air dryers. He recently acquired a company and is becoming sort of an expert in air dryers, and he really gets how I believe the world is moving, how I believe sort of marketing and business will be done, especially when you're talking about obscure sort of high quality products like stainless steel shelving or something that not everybody's going to be interested in going to Home Depot and buying. And so this guy sort of he is putting an air dryer in the guy that we sort of so admire so much, and Larry Cosilla, at least I admire him, who owns Ammo NYC and of course produces great products and has probably, in my opinion, the best detailing channel, if not one of the best channels on YouTube. And so he reached out. He was helping Larry sort of design his compressed air system at his garage. So he calls Larry and says, hey, there's this guy, Obsessed Garage, I saw in this other guy, Adam LZ's video, that is wearing your shirt. And he's talking about garage design and lighting and stuff like that. And Kevin knew that Larry was building his garage. And so Larry sent me an email saying, hey man, I'd like to sort of chat with you about some garage stuff. Wanted to pick your brain. And so now I'm texting back and forth with one of my idols in sort of the sort of business, detailing business, doing what you love world. And so now I just did a video where I'm going to be a little cameo in Larry's video. The other really cool thing is I convinced Larry to be on my podcast. So I'm gonna dig his life story out of him, which I think is gonna be really great. I want to hear it, and so I was sort of flattered, and he said, "Look, man, I don't do this kind of stuff. I always turn most people down, but I think that we're like-minded, and so he's gonna sort of generously share on my podcast." And the podcast is not my sort of preferred format, other than the fact that it's just a great way to sort of dig deeper and not have to put on some sort of show. And so I'm gonna be hosting him on this. That's really, really exciting for me. All right, so we've got the shelving here, so we got our braces. So I'm just gonna add 4 more of them. I know it gets kind of low here. That's a 55. Okay, good. So we'll have symmetry here. Because my original intent, I wasn't going to put 5 shelves in. 4 9/16. So come off of here. So naturally, with the bracket, I'm hitting a stud. And then the best part about all of this is putting all this stuff on the shelves. That's my favorite part. I don't even bother to measure this, as long as I sort of come level off of all this stuff, then I've got it good, got it licked. There's the shelf. So let's put these back on. So they sit nice and flush with the backsplash. Something about sort of brushed, clean stainless steel. And then all I have to do to get all the shelves lined up is this. There we go. So I'm going to pick up the GT350 on Tuesday, which I'm really pumped about. I decided to get magnetic metallic, just something very different than what I already have. And, you know, Avalanche is cool. I just think that color is going to wear out for me. Plus, I'm having a hard time finding one. I was freaking out a little bit because the M3, I just couldn't get it dialed right. I couldn't get the suspension. So I went, took it to BMW. Of course, they don't have a frickin' clue. Shoot. So all you guys that talk about voiding warranties, and it drives me nuts. Isn't that going to void the warranty? No. I've never even heard of anything being voided in my life, other than maybe Audi adding a notation to your customer record, like TD1 for having a tune or something on your car. So, you know, I had the aftermarket suspension on my car, and then I got to return it to stock because and the main reason for that is because the suspension is so expensive. And, you know, if you're a dealer, especially if you're going to trade your car, even if you're not a dealer, I mean, most people don't want your modifications. They want to do it on their own. That didn't hit anything. And so anyway, the car clearly was out of alignment because the darn traction control light kept coming on. So there was so much toe in the rear from switching out the tow arms. And so I needed to go really get it dialed. I just wanted, it just doesn't seem right to do it any other way. There, it's jacked up, but it works. And so we got the car all dialed, or took all the parts off it, got it back to stock, and then I needed to go get an alignment done, but I was having this weird sort of clunking noise, and so I made sure BMW knew that. I said, look, I mean, one, I need to get it aligned, and then two, I'm having this weird sort of clunk, and we doubled, triple, quadruple checked everything with the suspension to make sure that everything was correct. You know, I want it to be turnkey. I want to go, whether I sell it private party or give it to a dealer or what, you know, wherever it goes, I want it to be right. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want, you know, it's just the right thing to do. And so I was having these, you know, this sort of weird clunk. And so I took it to the BMW, and then they did their thing, and then of course the clunk was still there. And so then I had to sort of jack the car up and started digging into it. And I was freaking out because the sway bar end links, I don't have the factory one. So the only thing that's aftermarket on the car, which would be good for the next person, are that has the fall line aftermarket sway bar end links that are adjustable. So I jacked the car up, and of course they didn't adjust the sway bar end link, so they're super tight. The sway bar is all bent, you know, cockeyed because the sway bar end links were tuned for the way the car was set up before. And so I jacked the car up, put adjusted the end links, so I pulled the end links off, and basically with an end link, what you want is you want to make sure that it sort of slides in. because the end links aren't designed to be under load. They only sort of kick in when you're going around a bend or something like that. So that's when your sway bar actually does anything. When you have no load on the car, you should just have, sort of loose end links that should just pop right in. And they were all bound up, so I was able to sort of loosen those up, reposition those, and I go drive around the neighborhood and clunk, 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 clunk. Almost sounded like the darn suspension was blown. And I know that's not true because it's just not. Oops. See, this is what happens when I'm talking to you guys. I make holes in the wrong spot. Anyway, so now I'm all stressed out. Like, why did I do this? I should have just left the car alone. You guys get that feeling, I'm sure. Like, I shouldn't have done this. I'm such an idiot. Just be satisfied. And so then I sort of jumped on the door sill and I saw the shock bouncing up and down. And then it hit me, maybe the top nut isn't tight enough. And because the nut probably, from us sort of putting it together, the nut hadn't set up, or it wasn't tight enough. And so I grabbed my impact, torqued it down, boom, car's perfect. So I feel so good now that I can go on Tuesday, give them my M3, feel like I did the right thing. Everything is exactly as you would want it if it was new. The paint is good, rear tires are good, alignment's good. There's no check engine lights. There's nothing. Everything's perfect, and so I'm able to sort of take it and with a clear conscience and sort of hand it to the next person. And I know selling private party. I'm sure I could sell it, and I had a few people sort of interested in it, but it's just a lot of work to do that, and for like zero payoff. I mean, what am I going to sell the car for $2,000 more, maybe $3,000? Well, the tax savings alone just makes it not worth my while. So I'm going to drop the car off and pick up the new one. And I know you M3 fans, trust me guys, I'm probably out of anyone, I'm the biggest M3 fan of anybody that I've ever met. And it's just not right. It's just not the right car. It's good. I think that anybody who owns one will love it for a year or two and then they hate it. And maybe the same thing happens, and actually let me rephrase that. I don't even hate the car. I think it looks great. Certain aspects of it are great. Now I have a Raptor that I don't have to have a family vehicle anymore. I can still take and throw my kids in the back of the Mustang, so that's not an issue. But the Raptor can be my sort of carting the family around when I need to. And so I have less of a need for a vehicle like the M3 sedan, so I'm gonna part ways with it. And the main reason why is the sort of the fun factor. It's like I said, it's a great car. It just doesn't sound good. If you love the sound of it, that's great. I don't need to have a tendency to sort of need to argue. If you like how it sounds, it's a great car. Now that gets rid of 95% of why I would even consider selling it. I mean, I can't even believe that I'm gonna that I've arrived in this world as far as I would define it, and I'm not gonna own an M3. It's just insane to me. But, and the other sort of common comment is, why don't you get an E92? And my answer to that, I had to think about that. I'm like, why don't I? Is it because I'm just sort of in love with this idea of getting something different? And the answer to it became sort of very clear. It's, I don't want an E92 to drive around every day. I want an E92 to be sort of my garage, keep forever car. And I think, and I know that you guys think I'm crazy, I don't like going to test drive cars. It doesn't help me. You know, I'm so thorough in life that I would have to test drive it 15 times before I'd ever sort of make any sort of determining decision. So I've been on this sort of streak over the last 6 or 7 cars that I've owned that I don't test drive them. It just doesn't serve me. It doesn't help me. So test driving cars are something that I just don't. I know that's what most people do. It's really even hard for me to explain why I wouldn't want to do that. It's just I can't make a decision on. I can make quick decisions, but I can't make a decision on a car that quickly. I know I'm going to like this car if I test drive. I know it. There's no question. And I'm going to need some time in the car, a long time in the car, kind of like I did with the M3 to sort of make my decision, make a determination. And so I don't think I get hurt on a car like this. I mean, anyway, I just know myself, and going and test driving helped me. This is the car I want. Test driving it or not, I'm going to justify to myself why I like it. And so it's just my process. I don't know that I would suggest that everyone does it that way. Most important part of the shelf, the one that you can see. So there's our stainless shelves to match our stainless shelves. I'm telling you, these are so much better than the griot option. I know I've turned a lot of you onto the griot option, but this suits my style. You know, and cost-wise, to buy the griots and have them powder coated is going to be more than what these things cost. Wow, looks great. I'll come back to you in a minute after I get these all organized. All right, looks pretty good. Got all my gallons off the floor. Able to sort of spread things out. Apparently I need even more shelves. So that's how you install these things. I'm sure I'll rearrange it about 57 times between now and the new garage. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor.